Hey, look what we brought back again.
Here she is.
Yeah, my sister Maureen retired 5 years ago.
Yeah, looking retired. No not makeup, glasses. See what you're going to get to do after Friday?
Oh, yes.
You're not going to have to put makeup on?
You'll still look a heck of a lot better than me.
I'm not so sure about that.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, exciting that you're back to help share the story of my retirement. And if you didn't already hear, my last day is Friday.
It is.
And Maureen and I are going to reprise our role as co-anchors of the 6 o'clock show, at least part of the 6 o'clock show.
Right.
To take me off into the sunset.
Can't wait for that.
Yeah, you can't wait. But you have a story before we get to that.
The
right?
lovely thing, I don't know if you saw last week that I talked to Terry and Lori, his wife, but this week, today, you get to hear from more from Lori, and his 3 beautiful sons, whom I love. They're just unbelievably great guys, just like their parents. So let's kick it off into Terry and Lori and the lives that they've led since he started in TV. When the lights go down in Studio A at 6:30 p.m. March 1st and Terry says goodbye to WNDU and television news, he has one hope for his dedicated viewers.
I would hope they'd think I was a straight shooter, that I tried to deliver the news fairly and accurately. That's what I'd want. My wife always told me, you want to be the kind of news person that when you go on the air, people tune in and say, that's the kind of guy I want to get my news from. I hope that I've been that guy.
What they're trying to do is just catch up right now.
And for his co-workers, some of whom he helped groom as young reporters, he hopes they remember him for having their backs, all while remembering the old guard with fond memories.
If it weren't for you, I wouldn't be in this business. You were an inspiration. But, you know, working with Jeff Jeffers and Jack Nolan, Chuck Freeby, Mark Peterson, the people.
But his colleagues past and present don't get all the accolades. He credits his wife Lori, a Missouri journalism grad who was his weekend reporter at WSBT when he anchored, for really understanding TV news.
She'd come in and she'd look at my stuff. She said, you know, you're not working for a newspaper. This is a video-driven business. You need to look at your video and write to your video. And a light bulb went off. You know, I credit her a lot with improving my lot in life, my lot in the business.
By now you realize the McFaddens are homebodies, and after spending time working in South Bend,
as soon as we were engaged, I realized this is where it's going to be. It really felt like home to me from the beginning. I really mean that honestly. Your mom and dad were so wonderful to me from the very beginning.
My parents' home in Harder Heights was command central for all of us and our kids. Terry's oldest son, Michael, recalls understanding the importance of supporting family as a youngster.
Grandma Bonnie and Grandpa Vic, their home down the street, the swimming pool that they had in the backyard, that became sort of a meeting ground or a place where we all could come together. And I thank my lucky stars that I am close with my cousins.
And that carries on with his brothers, Sean and Charlie.
I had a very, very good childhood. I'm lucky. I know that not every American child has the childhood that I did. My brothers and I, we are very tight-knit. We are best friends.
Good evening, I'm Terry McFadden.
And while growing up with a dad on TV, coming into thousands of homes every night, they all agree he was just Dad, who was home in the morning, for dinner every night, and on weekends. Their only sacrifice?
And I was the only guy who'd show up at the icebox, the only father who'd show up at the icebox in a suit and makeup on his face. So I kind of stood out like a sore thumb.
All three say Terry was always there for what was important.
He was just Dad to us. It's all we ever knew, so it was pretty normal. You know, throughout our lives, you start to know sort of influence, impact. You know, that definitely had a lasting impact on my brothers and I. It made it clear to us that it means something to be a part of your community.
It's funny, growing up, a lot of people ask, what's it like to have a father on television? Just like any other dad, he just helped me grow up and taught me valuable lessons along the way.
As I got older, more mature, started to realize the special nature of his position and what he contributed to the community, I became even more proud of him and more excited by the fact that I was his son.
For Sean and wife Keenan, who grew up behind the McFadden clan, life is coming full circle. Living in D.C., they are due to give birth to a son in roughly 10 days. And that's not all.
Keenan and I, we plan to move our family back to South Bend. I think in large part that's due to my father's influence.
It's been really fun, coming into the family a couple of years ago, seeing like Sean said, the influence and impact that Terry has on the community. Because even Terry's parents, Bonnie and Vic, were really integral parts of the community. So we're gonna move back to South Bend and hopefully be the third generation.
Everything Terry has done, all he has achieved, his passion for work, and now the ultimate reward, enjoying his growing family.
I would say that the guy you see on camera is the real him. It's the real Terry. He's genuine, he's kind, he's affable, and he's a true journalist.
The way he treats people, especially people he's never met before, I have always admired that, maybe more than any other quality about him.
I think it'll be very emotional for him. I think it already is. He'll miss it a lot, I'm sure. It's really contributed to a life well lived for him because he's been able to reflect on the community, his own community that he grew up in. I admire and respect his professionalism. He's an ethical journalist. And I couldn't be more proud of him.
So what more does retirement hold? Terry says, no regrets.
I consider myself a very fortunate person. I've had a great career. I've been treated well by the people here at WNDU, all the administrations. The people at SBT were great to me. I have no complaints, really, but it was just time. Our father never really retired. He kept working, he got cancer, he died, and I don't want to end up going straight from work to the grave. I have a 67 Mustang Fastback that I've worked on for years. I've got an old pontoon boat that needs work. I've got plenty to keep me busy. And I'm gonna look forward to the day where I can put the phone down, walk out on my dock with a beer and a fishing rod, and watch the sunset.
2:45.
Well, that sounds good right about now, although I don't think the weather's cooperating.
Yesterday would have been good down on your dock.
Yeah, and then I would have dove underneath the dock when the windstorm came. But,
I know, but Terry, gosh, I know there are people out there who think, man, these crazy brother and sister working together, but it really was the time of our life.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
I mean, Dad and Mom raised us, as they did all their other children and grandchildren, to be close, and we were, and I think your sons were.
Well, and they took their cue because, our kids grew up and they saw the family gatherings, they saw us, acting crazy and singing around the piano.
As the McFaddens do,
Brother Tom playing the piano, us singing, Brother Dennis playing the guitar, us singing. I just posted a picture on Facebook recently of the two of us dancing on Christmas Eve.
Oh, to the Rolling Stones, of
to the
course.
Rolling Stones, no doubt. So, and I see that with our boys, and I see that with your boys and all the cousins. That
that's a wonderful thing that people might think it's a little weird, but we are very clannish. My dad came from a big Irish family, and he and his 7 siblings were very close. My dad came down to Notre Dame, in 1950, 51.
Yep.
After serving the Korean War, he got a scholarship.
GI Bill.
GI Bill, actually, to go to Notre Dame, and he still went back and saw his mother every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, 2-hour drive, and he'd say, "Who's going with me to see Grandma?"
Yeah. We know.
And one of us went every time.
Yeah. And again, I think you brought this out in the story, but not enough credit is given to my wife, Lori. Those boys, I may have given them life, but you know, she gave them character and everything that goes along with it.
An absolutely beautiful woman in every way. And,
Yeah.
and you told me, and this is, there was so much in our interview that I couldn't use, that when you asked Mom about what you loved about Lori, you said it was her soul.
I said she's got soul. She still
She
does.